Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's WIP and Chat Wednesday again. Isn't it crazy? These weeks are just like flying. You blink and you've missed your day. Your day's like gone. Anyway, grab your project, grab your drink, and come and sit with me while I have a chat. Today I'm working on my Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. I'll explain why in a second. Let me just have a sip of my coffee that's been sitting here for 5 minutes already. It's nearly cold. I hope you guys are having an awesome week. Mine's a bit, the weather's been absolutely awful. As usual, it's grey again today. I've just pulled that off my needle. The last couple of days and the weekend, it's like grey, wet, windy, really windy. And thankfully my fence has held up now. I do apologise if I have to keep coughing. Just got a bit of a weird throat. Anyway, I don't remember if I told you about the other weekend when I had the mishap with my chicken. Excuse me, sorry. If I did, I'm sorry, but I have a Pyrex dish that I cook my chickens in on a Sunday. Cover it with foil, put it in the oven, and I get it out every now and again to baste it. Anyway, I pulled it out, put it on top of the cooker, and went to get a spoon so I could just pick up the fat. As soon as I walked away, I heard the dish smash. I'd obviously not put it on top of the cooker properly, so if it wasn't for the fact it was in a glass dish and the glass had smashed, the chicken actually survived. It landed on the foil, completely on the foil on the floor. It's a nightmare trying to clean the fat up, I tell you though, but yeah, if it wasn't for the glass, the chicken would have been salvageable. So that was where my week started. And then I was stitching heavily on this yesterday. I think I did about 600 stitches just past dinner time, which dinner time in my house is like 12, half 12, somewhere around there. I've done about 600 stitches. And hold on, it won't mark. Got you. Now, I was only doing this cross-country across 2 pages. I did pages 1 and 2 together, and my intention was to carry on and do 3 and 4 together. But when I hit the edge of page 4, excuse me, I noticed that the 939 carried on, which is what you can see here and down here. So I thought, well, I haven't finished my thread, I'll just carry on until my thread runs out. My thread ran out and I could still see more 939, so I carried on. So I ended up with quite a big patch. This is like page 5 or 6. I know. Anyway, I carried on until the 939 stopped. There was like a gap, which is here. And then I pulled out another colour, started on pages 3 and 4, came across, and then it came down here as well, so I did that one as well. And then a third colour, I think it was 3, yeah, because I had a green, the 939, a light blue, and then the 4th colour. Anyway, the 4th colour I worked across, and then I was going back this way because there was like a line across the top, and then you went back this way or something like that anyway. And you know when you kind of got your old stitches that you've done before, and then you've got this colour that you're working your way across to meet up with these stitches? So yeah, they didn't meet up. They weren't where they were supposed to be. I was gutted. If it had been the green colour, it wouldn't have been so bad because that was the last colour I stitched. Even if it was the light blue, it would have been easier, but no, it had to be the first colour I did, which was the 939. So silly. And as silly as it sounds, all I'd done was I'd looked at my chart, and where it should have been like in this square, missed that square, and in that square I'd actually missed 2 squares or something like that, so it had ended up a whole 10 by 10 block too far. I was not impressed, because being as it was a 939, which is the first colour I worked, it threw out everything I'd done after it as well, because I'd lined all the green up with this 939, I'd lined all the light blue up with the 939 and the colour I was currently working on. So I think you can sort of tell from there, because it makes your canvas look dirty, doesn't it? That's where the lighter blue was, and you can see they look like muddy prints or something on my canvas, but that was the green. It's like a khaki green. So I spent all the rest of yesterday afternoon, when I noticed, and all yesterday evening unpicking. Oh my gosh. And unpicking 1/1 is not easy. 2 strands, I don't know, it just seems easier. But when you're trying to unpick 1, oh no, it was having none of it. I had to keep cutting the threads. Yes, I was careful this time. I did not want to cut another hole in my fabric like I did last time, because like hell am I starting pages 1 and 2 all over again for a 3rd time. Not a chance. So yeah, I sat there for hours. And when I'd finally done it, it was like 7 o'clock in the evening. And I was determined to try and sort of catch myself back up a bit. I sort of did. Sort of. But just one 10 by 10 square the wrong way. Where are you? I was so angry at myself for ages. The kids kept saying, "You're all right, Mum." Yes. Just go play. Don't bug me, because I could cry, and I really, really could have. Trust me, I've made sure they're all in the right place now. And then as soon as I finished, like here, I found some more 939, so I kind of carried on, because it's quite a big patch. I'll probably realise in a couple of days I've done that wrong as well. No, from the front. But yeah, so a bit of bad luck lately, but it hasn't put me off. That's the main thing. That's slipped down. Yeah, it hasn't put me off. I am loving this new start with 1 strand. It's so easy. And it works as well, because when I tried to unpick it, I couldn't get it undone. Sounds silly, because you're only putting it through a loop and then, you know. But trying to get it undone is hard. I had to actually go and undo it from the back. So I know it works. Anyway, my washing machine's singing. Anyway, I've been really busy, as usual, this week so far, and the end of last week. I started a mystery sampler with linen and threads, a free mystery sampler. Sal. Finished January's. I'm now on to February's. And considering I didn't think I was a sampler person, I love it. Especially the fact that I've used the variegated garnet. It looks lovely. Absolutely lovely. What am I doing? So I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And that's easier to pick up and put down than this is, because it's like all in a big case that you kind of have to get settled on your lap, and in the top part of the case, which is what ends up on your legs, there's a little pouch, I want to say. You know, bean bags, what they're full of, them beans. Well, there's like a little pocket that fits inside the case. So it's like them trays you buy with the padded underneath. Yeah, it's just like that. So it takes a while to get it like situated on your lap the right way. And so yeah, picking up the other one's so much easier. You just stick it under your leg and off you go. And then I have also been working on the blanket, which I'm waiting now for the colour wool from Home Bargains. So that's where I bought it from, but I underestimated as always, and they haven't had that one in again since. So excuse me. So yeah, I'm actually on the flowers on the unicorn's head at the moment. There's a pink, green and yellow flower, and it looks awesome against the baby blue background, which is apparently the colour she loves. Next one over there, second one down. I haven't really done much of anything else. It's like just the focus has been on this. And the blanket, the sample I do a little bit of as and when I feel like it. You know, when I got a few minutes to spare and I can just pull it out. I've also, being as I had my nephew last week for a few hours, we discussed his blanket. Because I already knew he wanted a fortnight one. So it was more fine-tuning what he wanted specifically. He wanted me to do, ages ago he said he wanted me to do, this person stood in a certain kind of skin. And I'm like, no, too detailed for the kind of thing that it is. The Grafghan blanket. 2, 3, 4, right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm in the wrong square. Muppet. See? Easily done. Yeah, so I've told him what sort of things I can conjure up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Third one up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we've agreed on somewhere at the bottom the Fortnite landscape logo or whatever it is. It looks like a load of buildings and the Fortnite name. So he seemed to not have a clue what I was on about when I said that. So I had to show him. And then when I typed it in Google, it came up with like 2 versions or 2 variations of it. You had just the normal black silhouette and white, or you had the black silhouette, white, and then like a red rim around it. He went for the red rim. Okay. Now what's your favourite colour? He said red. I said, well, that's not going to work then. He said, why? Because I was going to pick your favourite colour to do as the background, like main colour. Oh, he said, well, I like electric blue too. I'm like, really? So, and then he chose he said it's a skin. It's just like a little logo thing. And it's just kind of a motif, but he says it's a skin. Okay, so we've gone with that. That's kind of blue, black, grey. I can cope with that. I can draw that out. I think it should be all right. So that's his blanket discussed. This one, not this one, this one. Okay, second one across. So I am in the processes of, well, I will be charting that one up. I've got one to chart for Kelly as well. I have told her she can do it herself. She's amazing. Mind you, we did laugh when we were discussing it on Thursday. she says, I'm no good at charting. I said, but you are. Especially if, excuse me, sorry. Especially if you've already got an image, like it's been already put into squares, like someone's done it on hammer beads or perler beads or whatever you want to call them. If it's already done like that, it's so easy to draw from that. But when Kelly was doing Faith's first blanket, she was doing a purple butterfly, and it was so easy to chart. Apparently not. Missed 3. When Kelly, because obviously you can't buy a piece of squared paper big enough to do a full picture on, right? So you have to kind of stick pieces of squared paper together. That's just how I work, and that's how I like to do my blankets. I like to work from a picture, sort of. I don't do like words, because some people have their rows written out, and I'm no good with that, because I like a visual, so I can see that, like, the row I've already done, where the stitches I'm about to put in on the blanket line up with that, and yeah, it's just, that's the way I roll. So anyway, she taped all these pieces of squared paper together, and she was so far through drawing her chart out, which she'd actually done an amazing job up to that point. And she'd gone to, like, draw out the next row, and it wouldn't line up, nothing was where it was supposed to be. And she kind of just gave me the chart and said, gone wrong and I don't know where. So it was like, okay. Spent ages, I think, looking at that chart, and it turned out that where she glued 2 pieces of squared paper together, she'd actually managed to stick it together slightly wonky, so it created an extra row of squares in the middle. It threw everything out, absolutely everything. So yeah, so she kind of just looks at me now. So we did have a laugh about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, she's got a Sonic one. I can't for the life of me remember who it was for now, but you know. So I've got that one to chart, as well as the fortnight blanket. Because Kelly rolls the same as I do. She has to have a visual picture to work from. Makes it a lot easier. You know what you're doing then. So, boy, do I get through some squared paper. But, oh, change. Thank you. I don't draw on it, so I can keep it. And I've always got that. If somebody else goes, oh, I like that, I'd like one of those, which happened to me last year. I did Ellie's My Little Pony blanket. I think it was last year. I did Ellie's the year before, I think. And then my sister came to me and said, I have a friend who really, really, really likes your daughter's blanket. Could you do another one? And that's where it worked out. So I've kept all my charts in a little folder. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third one in. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, and Kelly, when she first started, she'd like cross out the lines she'd already done. That's just how she found it easy. So I did start photocopying the charts I gave to her to keep them, but now she's learnt to not cross them out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That one. Yeah, I made her, you know when you buy a pad of lined paper, you've got that big cardboard thick back on it? Yeah, well, what I've learnt to do is I take the back off that, cut it in half, stick it together so that the 2 straight edges are on one side, and I use that as a row guide. So I can see just one row at a time above, but I put it above the row that I'm working on. So you'll see all the old rows I've done, so I can match them up as I go. Less mistakes that way. So yeah, I made Kelly one of those. And even she's pretty good now at just not drawing on the chart. It was funny, she got through so many coloured pens and highlighters, and because she was crossing, literally colouring in every row as she'd done it, because that was just how she found it easy. It works my way now for her, because you mark your rows on a piece of paper as well. You keep your piece of paper with your project. So yeah, that's something we've been doing for quite a while. And our Thursdays, that's what it used to be. We'd both, either she'd bring her clothes area to mine with her project attached, or she'd pick me up in the morning and I'd have my clothes area with me, and we'd go up to hers and we'd spend like the few hours the kids were at school doing our blankets, watching telly at the same time, and, you know, general chit chat. Oh, I don't like it. It's gone funny. At the moment, though, her diamond painting's kind of taken over, because she doesn't really have a project wool-wise, which is why she wants me to chart the Sonic one, so she can kind of take her pick. So yeah, my week's going to be busy the next couple of weeks charting, because it's no easy thing charting a picture onto a piece of squared paper. I'd love to be able to design my own and sell them. Well, I suppose I do design my own. I just take an image and I copy it, draw it out onto squared paper, and then I make the squares fit the image. So I suppose I do. I mean, the halo one, that was hard. I drew the halo helmet by hand. It's a good job I can draw. And then I had to take it from an A4 piece of paper and enlarge it. So I broke it into squares, and then broke a larger piece. My tablet just does not want to work this morning. Yeah, so then I broke a larger piece into similar squares but bigger, and copied it from there onto a bigger piece, and then I turned that over, and then I drew over the back so that it imprinted onto my squared paper, and then I made the image fit. I made the squares fit the image even. So the halo one was completely done by me, and my sister said they're in love with it. Absolutely, they weren't expecting it to be quite so good apparently. Now, anybody who knows me knows I can put together a good blanket. Images are not that hard really. If I couldn't draw, it probably would be harder, but drawing was my thing at school. Haven't done any for a long time, mind, but anyway, I'm not one of these like fantastic artists or anything that can just draw anything. I'm sort of, I can't draw anything from my head, if that makes sense. I can take an image and I can copy it, but no, not from my head, I can't. It's true. But yeah, the blankets are a good thing. Everyone loves them. And my nephew says he wants his personalised as well. I wasn't sure if he would, because he's like nearly 13 now, you know, and he's just at that age, but he said, no, I want my name on it, thank you. Makes it personal, doesn't it? And I do like that. Everyone I've made one for likes that. It's personalised. You can't buy it anywhere. And my son's girlfriend has absolutely no idea that I'm making it for her, unless he's told her, but I don't think so. Haven't changed my doodah again. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Goes quite quick. When I've got the wool, that is. And I will show you a progress update on Friday when I do my flash tube. I didn't do one last week because, yeah, I didn't really get a whole lot done. Well, I didn't think so, but then, you know, I finished January's linen and thread sale. Just got February and March's to catch up on, so I did do quite a lot, I suppose, like variation. But, and I did do the blanket too. I've done that row as well. But yeah, I'll show all my progress on Friday. I haven't let my mishap with this cross stitch put me off anything, because normally if I'm put off one thing that goes across the board, I think it's a fear of getting it wrong on something else as well. So yeah, when I'm put off one, I kind of don't do any on any of them. 3. Oh no, I'm out. See, told you. It was just going too well. Let me find out where I've gone wrong. Wow, that wind, I can hear it. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that stitch right there's out. Just that one tiny thing and it's thrown out everything I've just done. No worries. Glad I caught it early. Anyway. Glad I've caught it now rather than an hour down the line. Because it's not like... 939 is quite a hard colour to go over and cover it, isn't it? You know, it's just too dark. You'd see. So, I'm going to try and be careful now. So I've already lost a load of 939 to unpicking. It's becoming the norm here to mess up, apparently. Because I haven't got anything better to do than sit here unpicking stitching. Oh, and I've done a bit more talking. I'm telling lies, see. I've done loads. I've done a bit more on that Christmas cross stitch that my daughter started. And I said, are you ever going to get back to it? She said, probably not. But I'll have it when you finish, she said. I told you, didn't I? I said last week she'd probably still want it when I'm done. And I was correct. No, don't do that. I just looked at her like, so I'm going to put in all the effort and then you're going to nick it. Really? But there's like 4 or 5 in that little booklet, and I thought about, if I did all, however many there are, if I did them all, there might be 6 actually, and then bought, you know these frames that have like separate little windows for separate pictures? And you could get like 3 or 4 in one. I thought about doing that, putting them in there. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it? No. No. Oh no. This just doesn't want to play ball now. Because it's not even that one next, is it? Nope. It's this one. But I can't get just the top thread. Come on. Just trying to tease it out. It doesn't want to know. I'm just shredding my thread. Or at least I know to be careful today. Things are not going to go to plan. It's just becoming normal for me, I think. No, I don't have it all. Still missing. But that can't be, because that's too much. I don't know. See, it's pulling that one down, but not that. But then if I have that, it's not all of it. Oh, geez. Yes, I'll be careful. I'm just going to snip because I don't have the energy to fight with it today. Because I had a really, really sore thumb yesterday. You know, when you hold your needle and you kind of grip it to unpick. Well, I had a permanent line down my thumb last night and it was so sore. I can still feel it today, just because of the hours I spent unpicking. Mind you, took it to Kelly's last Thursday and I don't think either of us were like overly into our craft. She was doing a diamond painting and I was doing this, and it's like I just didn't have the motivation for it on Thursday. I don't know why, and I don't think Kelly really did either for her diamond painting. Mind you, she tipped some of the colour out that she needed and realised at some point she'd mixed her diamonds. There was like a light blue with a medium blue, and she spent quite a while separating them all. She walked away at one point and I did a few for her, and she was like, okay, coffee's made, I'll sit down, I'll carry on now. But it does bum you out, doesn't it, when you make a mistake or... Sorry guys if I just knocked you. Oh, this is fun. Not. And I thought after the last, you know, when I'd had to start the whole thing all over again from the mistake I made, you thought I'd have learnt to like... Well, I was checking and double checking. But yet I'd still managed to fluff it up over here. I obviously was on a roll and I got complacent. That's the problem. Is it one or is it two? I never remember whether I completed the whole stitch or just part of it when I've done two together. I don't know if any of you guys really follow the news and such for like coronavirus, and it's hard not to in my house. My other half loves the news, so it's kind of it's on all the time, right? Now we have a thing where we can kind of tune into American news and like what's going on over there and whatever. But we've been watching it and they've been on about so much about people panic buying things and like people fighting in, you know, supermarkets and whatever over toilet rolls. And because this one woman had a massive trolley full of toilet roll, and this one person said, all I want is one bag, you've got like 10, 15 bags of toilet roll. What is going on with people? Why do you need to stock buy toilet roll? I don't get it. And even here, I mean, we normally nip round Home Bargains. They have our toilet tissue in there. It's been sold out. And the only reason we got some today is because my other half was there when the lorry turned up and it delivered the toilet roll. And even then, as soon as he brought it out, everyone pounced on him like it's going out of fashion. And then there's hand gel as well. That's been selling out. Home Bargains has normally got tons of hand gel. And it's only cheap. They haven't had any in now for a week or more, I want to say. Right, let's try and get this right this time. The next row down from there, which is there, that's the first stitch, the second and the third. Okay, we should have it right this time, touch wood. But yeah, and then you go on Amazon, and there's like people selling it on there for like 100, 200 quid for a bottle of hand gel. Seriously, people. And you'd be amazed at how many people would buy it as well. You know, just, you're like crazy. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, It's the one above, yeah. And then you've got, I don't know if it's over here or America, I forget which piece of news I was watching when it was said, but the chemists are actually making their own. They've got the right chemicals and such to make their own hand gel, and that's what they've been doing, so I'm not sat very comfortable here. I'm leaning so I can feel the pull on my back. No, hang on, 2 more underneath. And I'll tie it off. Look at that fluff. It's a good job it's full coverage, you know, because it hides a multitude of sins. But yeah. What gets me though is when the SARS and the MERS, or whatever it was, were out, one of them, I forget which, was actually classed a pandemic, yet this coronavirus has kind of surpassed anything that happened with SARS and MERS, yet it's still only an epidemic. It's weird. I'm going to tie it off here. It's just, people are acting so crazy. Just be careful, wash your hands, you know. Which stitch am I going into? This one. I mean, I've got a couple of bottles of hand gel and I make the kids gel their hands when they get home. I didn't finish that one properly. Just kind of put it in the right hole. Yeah. And so, Riley's not very well. He does have a cold. He has a cough, which he's had for a little while. If it goes on too much longer, I will take him to the doctors, but he has no temperature. Now, everything I've read about corona, it's like it's focused on the temperature. That didn't even go through, did it? No. Nope. So yeah, if he had a temperature, I might have considered getting him checked out. But he doesn't, he just has cough and cold. Let's grab that, snip it off. Ugh. Hopefully your guys' week's been a lot better than mine. The only thing I don't like about Pattern Keeper, now this is I love Pattern Keeper. It's just when I frog stitches on Pattern Keeper, it doesn't take them off my total that I've done for that day, which I wish it did, because then it counts the same stitches twice. That's just me being picky, I think. 2 down, 1, 2, the next one, 3. Yeah, it's just me being picky, because I've just frogged all of them and now it's going to count that I've done them twice, which I suppose in a way I have. This is the second time I'm doing it, but oh no. No. Gotcha. Ha. No, I didn't. Or did I? Yeah, I did. There's a tiny knot on the back. Scissors. Snip it off without cutting my fabric. Poke that through. That's that one. Missed 2. Third one. Last week I asked everyone to leave me a comment about what weird either habits or whatever things that everyone does that other people might think weird. I did enjoy reading the answers. I don't feel so weird now, all on my own. And it's funny how different in variation people's things are, you know. I've knotted it. And I've undone it. Yeah, it's kind of, everyone's are so different. I think Lisa commented, is it Lisa? I could be wrong. One of them said they counted stairs as well. That could actually have been Julie. I don't remember. You know, didn't check. But Ellie's got her SATS booster club after school again today, and it's something like 5 weeks till her SATS, which I don't think she's really looking forward to, but it's one of them things we all had to do, didn't we? I remember my 11 plus. I don't think it was called SATS then though, I think it was just called the 11 plus. Right, let's see if this lines up this time. 1, 2, 3. If this doesn't line up now, I'm seriously going to cry. I can't do it again. Hang on, no, just one past. 4. 2. 3. This had better line up or I'm quitting for the week. That's it. I have my eye on the long dog sampler that I really want. I've just got to wait. Yeah, sorry, I was concentrating. But it's called Castles in the Air and it's amazing. Mind you, I like all theirs. They're so just wow. And I even read on the website you can have sort of like a custom one done. They're not cheap, but she's honest about that on the website, you know. Something like £300, but depending on what you're having done, it can vary like up to £500 to £700. Right, is that the right square? 1 up, 3 in. Yes! See? Means I can't quit today now. I need to zoom in. I find the further out the further out I zoom, it's harder to press the blinking stitches you want to mark. I had a really weird thing the other night. I'd just gone upstairs, like the kids were all asleep. Normally what my nighttime routine is sort of 9, half 9ish. I'll wander upstairs and I'll sit for a little while going through my YouTube, catching up on a couple of videos. And then my phone, because that's what I'm on YouTube on, starts ringing and it says it's my sister. So I answer and I get this very Scottish male accent. And he's explaining that he has my sister's phone. She was out with 2 friends. She left the phone on the table. Now, fair play to him, because if it was, you know, anyone else would have just picked it up and gone. Because it's an iPhone, you know, I think it's an iPhone. Anyway, anybody else would have just picked it up and took it. But no, However he managed to get into her phone, because it's pin coded or locked or whatever, I have no idea. But he managed to find me. And she must have me down in her phone as Tracy's sister, or usually that's because she's got more than one person of that name in her phone. So he was ringing me to let me know he had her phone. And I'm like, but I can't get hold of her then because she's out. I didn't even know she was going out. But that's none of my business. Do you know what I mean? You know, she does what she does. That's up to her. But I couldn't even tell you who she was out with. So I said, well, I'll tell you what. Leave it at the bar where you are. Because he told me where he was. Because I don't know what to do about it yet. He said, okay, well, what I'll do, he said, is I'll sit... Because I'm not going yet, he said, in his very Scottish accent, which was very thick and hard to understand. But I got there. He said, I'm not going yet, so I'll hang on to it in case she realises and comes back. But if she hasn't by the time I go, I'll give it the bar staff. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. So then I hangs up from him, rings her daughter Chloe, who's like 21 in May. And I said, where's your mum? She says, oh, she went out with a couple of friends from her old workplace. I'm like, okay. Someone's got your mum's phone. She went, what? Yeah, she left it on the blinking table. How she didn't realise it was on the table right in front of her, I've got no idea, but yeah. She went, oh, and I told her what was going to happen. I said, so if your mum arrives home and doesn't realise she's left it, you can tell her and what's going to happen to it. But, you know, yeah, I've never done that. I've left my keys in the front door. I've done that and shut the front door and they're outside. But I've realised. We've even gone, we've called a taxi from Arrows. And we were faffing about outside the front door because it wasn't there yet, but we were outside. And taxi arrived, and for whatever reason, we just got in and went. And when we got back, we realised we had never locked the front door when we left. So I do stupid stuff like that. But yeah, as it turned out, my phone was ringing again about 10 minutes later. It was her number, only this time it was her. She'd obviously realised and gone back, and she was just ringing me to let me know she had got it. And not to worry, everything's okay. Well, next time, can you give your daughter like one of the phone numbers of the people you're going out with? Be easier. But yeah, she was so lucky. That would have been the second phone she lost if he'd have taken it. Because the last time she was outside her son's school, and I think she dropped it. No idea how, but she dropped this phone. And whoever was around her at the school had realised, picked it up. Now, here's the thing, right? My sister keeps all her cards, like her bank card, her driver's licence, all in the case that goes on this phone. And I've told her that's silly. Because contactless cards, £30 a time, you know. Anyway, she dropped her phone. Someone else picked it up. Now, this is the cheek of it, right? They emptied the phone of all the cards, took the cards into the school office, gave them to the receptionist, and walked away with the phone. Yeah. No, from the front. So, yeah. And I told her after then, don't keep your cards in your mobile. I do, but no, this is the only reason I do, because my phone is always on the inside pocket of my coat. No one can get to it. Not without me feeling it, because it's like sat right next to my chest. You know what I mean? So I'd know if someone pulled my phone out, I'd feel it. So yes, I keep my card in the back of my phone because I'm always going around the shop for stupid things I've forgotten and whatever. But hers is just in her coat pocket, or it's in her handbag where anyone can reach in and take it. So don't keep your cards in there. Yeah. So that was a really weird ending to my Sunday. Was it Sunday evening? I think it was, you know. Anyway, I think I've been rabbiting for ages. Hold on. Change. Oh, my tablet's gonna go slow. I think I'm going to turn it off and start it again. It's the only way of solving that with my tablet. It's a nightmare, honestly. Ouch. I did have another cross-stitch related injury last week. I just went through this phase where I just kept poking myself with my needle every time I pulled it through to the front, or pushed it through to the front even. Pushed it through to the front, and I keep stabbing myself with it by accident on this finger right here, and it ended up with a little hole because don't ask me how, but I seem to poke myself in the exact same spot over and over again. So yeah, it bled a little and it was sore, but yeah, funny. And I've managed to make another tiny knot. Bear with me a second, guys. I always keep my pin handy to help me pull these things out, just like that. Ow. Because I find my cross-stitch needle just isn't fine enough to kind of poke through. And I know after the first 2 or 3 attempts whether the thread's going to snap or not. And if I can't get it undone within that time, I kind of just snip it. I've got no option. No other option anyway, so. Thought I'd done it again then. I kind of have to hold my threads as I pull them through from the front and the back. And it prevents the knotting usually. It's when I miss it and I pull it through, it knots. I go to grab it but miss it. Mark them stitches, you. Oh my goodness, this tablet. Hang on. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, and that one. Anyway, guys, we're like hitting 52 minutes now, so I've actually been gassing for ages. So I'm going to wind it up here. My coffee's freezing again, I've just realised. One of these days I might actually manage a full cup of coffee while it's warm. One of these days. I did it yesterday though. Rob came down and said, do you want a coffee? I was like, yes. He come and got my cup and he went, you've only drunk half of it. I know. It's only when you asked me for it if I wanted another coffee that I remembered it was there. It's awful, I tell you. I waste that much coffee. And I shouldn't, because it's not cheap coffee either. It's Kenko. Anyway, enough chatting. I will let you guys go. I hope you have a fabulous, productive rest of your week. I plan on mine being quite productive. I won't wish you a happy weekend because I will see you on Friday for my floss tube. I will actually do an update this week because I have got through quite a bit this week, what with all of the little ones I'm doing as well. I say all, the other 2, you know. And I might get round to ordering my long dog sampler that I want, so I can join in 2 Martini Stitches Stitch Along Leap Day sale. So yeah, I'll see you on Friday, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week and I'll see you on Friday. Bye, guys.